Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett didn't hesitate when she dropped the bombshell Barron might not be Trump's son. The real shock-sealed court documents began to back her up. You could feel the tension through the screen, a storm building. During a delayed House Oversight Committee hearing on presidential overreach, most viewers had tuned out. Then Crockett leaned forward, removed her glasses, and demanded silence, not just in the room, but from the noise of tradition. Her voice didn't rise. It dropped, making every word a hammer strike. "I want to shift this to character," she said, glaring at the panel like she'd already lit the fuse. "This country has protected power over truth for too long. That stops today." Chairperson Reuben Geller tensed. Crockett was off script and everyone knew it. Scoffs and raised eyebrows didn't faze her. There are sealed documents from an Arizona court in 2019 buried by political influence involving then-President Trump, a former staffer, and a child, she declared. Silence gripped the room. "I have a sworn affidavit from a federal contractor. One file referenced a $3.1 million payment to a woman under the alias TB. The only unredacted phrase paternity agreement, enforced under non-disclosure DNA confirmation pending." Reporter Matt Overby tried to interrupt, "Is this the time?" but Crockett didn't blink. The people didn't vote for secrecy. If the president knew during his first term that Barron Trump wasn't biologically his and buried it to protect his image, we have a problem. Not just legal, moral. The hearing erupted into national chaos. CNN cut to it live. MSNBC followed. Even Fox couldn't look away. Phones buzzed across the country. TikTok clips exploded captioned, "Did Jasmine just say Barron isn't Trump's son?" Inside the chamber, murmurs turned to shouting. Overby slammed his pen, motioning to adjourn. Crockett's voice cut sharper. "We will not silence truth because it makes the powerful squirm. This isn't gossip. It's justice manipulated for personal protection." "Repellent," Eleanor Vance muttered. "Keep the child out of this." Crockett snapped back. "You want to protect a child. Stop using him as a prop for power." The room detonated. The House feed cut for 3 minutes, allegedly a glitch, until raw audio leaked online. Trump's name was censored twice. The file Crockett referenced flagged under Homeland Security review hours later. Too late. The damage was done. That evening, network ratings shattered records. Crockett didn't retreat. Cornered by a journalist in the hallway about backlash, her response was ice cold. "No, I didn't say anything I can't back up." The hearing resumed, but the room was a shell. Staffers avoided eye contact, some fled. Unseen on C-SPAN, Crockett received a text as she entered her office finally. Meanwhile, the White House was a pressure cooker. In the Roosevelt room, a junior staffer dropped her coffee unnoticed as all eyes locked on the muted TV showing Crockett mid-sentence. Chief of Staff Brian Halford froze. Trump, fresh from a trade meeting, stormed in. "What the hell is this? Why is it on every channel?" Halford stammered, "Sir." She brought up sealed files about Barron. Trump's face twisted into that half scowl. "She what?" No one breathed. He snapped, "Don't touch that remote," eyes narrowing as Crockett said paternity. Then he barked, "Get me CNN's Peterson." Now an intern sprinted. Halford cautioned, "Sir, we need strategy." Trump growled, "She said Barron's not my son on live TV and you want strategy." He dialed Hope Sinclair, his legal counsel, on speaker. "That's slander. Sue her. Sue everyone." Sinclair's voice was calm. "Defamation doesn't hold if it's true." Trump's silence answered for him. Halford muttered, "It's out. Every outlet's got it." "Not hissin' is trending." Trump's hand shook. He caught Crockett's final jab on TV. If he buried this to protect his image, it's not just legal, it's moral. He flung the remote, shattering it. "This is because of that stupid agreement," he hissed. Halford pressed, "How long have you known?" Trump didn't answer, instead ordering, "Get Melania on the phone." Marjorie Klein hesitated. "She's in Europe. Wake her up, sitting heavily." Trump muttered to the room, "You think she's bluffing?" No one dared reply. Sinclair broke the silence. "The NDA is binding, but if Crockett has that affidavit someone leaked, we need to isolate it and prep Barron." Trump flinched. "Leave him out of this." Sinclair countered, "The press won't." Across the nation, the story consumed everyone. In Dayton, Ohio, Lorna Peake watched the clip at a gas station, breath catching at paternity. In Seattle, 19-year-old Denzel Yates and his coworker gaped. "Is she saying Trump's not the dad?" "She didn't say it. She showed it," Denzel replied. TikTok views hit 2.3 million in an hour. Not hissin' topped global trends. Theories multiplied. In Mesa, Arizona, a high schooler argued with his teacher, "Does it matter? It's personal." She shot back, "If it's real, it's deception tied to public trust." In rural Pennsylvania, A retired Marine watched Fox, his wife, whispering, "What if it's true?" Outside a Tallahassee barber shop. A man asked, "Think she made it up?" The barber shook his head. "Nah, she ain't flinching." Polls shifted. A flash survey showed 48% believed Crockett, 33% didn't, 19% unsure, a landslide for a polarized nation. CNN replayed it hourly. MSNBC analyzed legally. Even Newsmax couldn't ignore it, spinning it as an ambush. On social media, Crockett became an icon, her face spliced with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Trump's team delayed his live response, debating optics. A bland statement called it reckless character assassination. It drowned in the noise. That night, Crockett went live on CNN with Anderson Pike. No fluff, just her steady-eyed. "Why today?" Pike asked. "I wasn't elected to protect a man's secrets," she sliced. "I'm elected for the people's right to truth, even if it stings." On the files, she confirmed, "I've seen them via a whistleblower. I'm working to release what I can without risking their safety." Pike pressed, "You're stating Trump suppressed Barron's paternity truth for his image." She leaned in, "All evidence I've reviewed strongly supports that. His administration used NDAs, threats, and hush money to bury it." Backstage, producers watched the network app crash from traffic. Pike shifted. "Critics say this drags a child into the crossfire." Crockett nodded. "It's unfair, but I didn't put him there. His father did. When you lie to a country, your roof collapses, not mine." The White House reeled. They hadn't expected her unflinching clarity. The clip hit 12 million views in an hour. Report Lynette O'Connor stunned everyone on local news. "I've seen parts of what Crockett referenced. I believe her." Now it wasn't just Jasmine. Someone else knew. In El Sereno, California, 51-year-old Genevieve Larson, the woman behind TB Talia Breyer, saw her past resurface. A nurse she pulled into her driveway after a night shift. As her neighbor showed her the clip, her chest tightened. That alias was hers, buried under a protective order. Inside, she locked doors, checked a burner phone, 4 missed calls, a voicemail from her lawyer. "Don't answer anything. I'm on my way." We knew this might come. Paparazzi circled. Her mind flashed to 2005, a Phoenix hotel meeting Trump at a benefit. Not charming, but persuasive. 8 months later, a baby a secret. He smirked. "I'm not the guy," then sent lawyers and NDA a check. She started fresh, new city, new name. Until now, her lawyer Harris Noland arrived. "They'll try to break you." She pulled a red folder, court filings, emails, and unanswered paternity test request. "I don't want TV. Just the truth out," she said. They planned a written statement. Her name hadn't broken, but time was ticking. In St. Louis, veteran journalist Conrad Wells chased the silence, not the noise. Digging into old files, he found a 2019 wire transfer from a Trump-linked shell company to Red Lantern Diagnostics, an Arizona LLC tied to paternity testing. A sealed Maricopa County court record showed TB versus JDT John Donald Trump. A clerk hinted at a sealed affidavit. A medical courier confirmed a pickup from Red Lantern to D.C. Senator Genevieve Larson. Crockett wasn't theorizing. She had a foundation. Conrad emailed her office, "I know about Red Lantern. This is systemic abuse of power. I'm not chasing first, I'm chasing right." Reply, "We're listening." At the White House, damage control imploded. Trump paced, barking, "Find that woman. Discredit her." A leaked audio of Sinclair surfaced. "If the affidavit leaks, we're exposed." The DNA order was dodged. Trump spiraled. "She recorded me." Halford clarified herself on a call. Melania, on a secure call from Geneva, said icily, "You said it was handled." Trump muttered, "It was until she came back." Melania's reply cut, "No, Donald. He's my son." The press secretary's denials flopped. An insider leaked to the Philadelphia Review, "We've known about the red file since 2020. Anyone who asked was silenced." In Phoenix, Judge Rosanna Vitelli, nearing retirement, stared at a sealed envelope. TB versus JDT inside a 2019 DNA request Trump never answered, buried under national security pressure. Haunted, she called Crockett's office. "I have something you might want to see." A leaked memo to the Arizona Sentinel confirmed Trump's team blocked the test, pushing a financial settlement and gag clause. CNN broke in. Trump refused the test. No confirmation, no denial, just avoidance. The nation reacted. In Tulsa, a woman snapped, "It's the lies that get them." In Minneapolis, a student tweeted, "I care he used courts as a broom closet." Crockett stepped to a Capitol podium unannounced, holding a folder. "I'm not here to repeat myself. I'm here to end the guessing. This is the 2019 DNA test order, buried, never fulfilled. This isn't theater, it's a record." Cameras clicked. A reporter asked, "Are you releasing it?" It's going to the House Ethics Committee, DOJ, and Public Record Office. No redactions, no games. Another afraid this backfires politically. She smirked faintly. Truth doesn't backfire. It burns where it needs to. That night the files dropped NDA test request, missed court dates, settlement avoidance memos. Undeniable. He buried it with influence and money. Genevieve released a letter I kept quiet to protect my son. Silence protects the wrong people. Thank you, Congresswoman Crockett. Her son added, my mom told the truth. That's all. Trump's damage was permanent. Donors fled. Voters drifted. A senior aide whispered, Crockett didn't do this. He did. She just told the story he erased. Crockett didn't gloat. She returned to work filing bills to limit executive court interference. She never said I told you so. Her final words lingered. Your image is what you show. Your truth is what you live with. I didn't come to Congress to guard images. I came to honor truth. The release of the unredacted files wasn't just a bombshell. It was a seismic rupture that split open the facade of power. By midnight, the document's NDA DNA test request, missed court appearances, financial settlement, and internal memos advising avoidance were accessible on multiple news outlets. No paywall, no spin, just raw, undeniable proof that Donald Trump had weaponized influence and money to bury a truth that could have reshaped his public image. The nation didn't just read the files, it devoured them, dissecting every line like a coroner slicing into a corpse. On X hash, Truth Burns overtook hash not hissin as the top trend fueled by Crockett's podium words, truth doesn't backfire. It burns where it needs to. In the White House, the West Wing resembled a war room after a rout. Staffers, bleary-eyed from sleepless hours, shuffled between offices, clutching half-empty coffee cups and crumpled memos. The press office had abandoned its whiteboard strategy sessions, every plan dissolved within minutes of conception. President Trump, holed up in the Oval Office, hadn't spoken publicly since the files dropped, but inside his rage was a palpable force. Who let this happen? He roared, slamming a fist on the resolute desk, his voice echoing off the walls. Brian Halford, one of the few still willing to face him, stood rigid. Sir, the leak likely came from Arizona, possibly the judge. We can't contain what's already out. Trump's eyes narrowed to slits. Then make her regret it. Find anything on that judge, and Crockett. I want her buried under so much dirt she can't breathe. Halford hesitated, a rare crack in his stoic facade. Sir, that could backfire. The public's already turning. Digging into Crockett now looks like retaliation, not defense. Trump's scowl deepened, but he said nothing, his silence more dangerous than his shouts. Hope Sinclair, his legal counsel, had already distanced herself, drafting a resignation letter in a dimly lit corner of her office. She knew the ship was sinking, and she wasn't about to drown with it. A leaked audio of her voice admitting the DNA order was dodged had already cost her credibility. She muttered to a junior aide, I warned him years ago. You can't outrun a paper trail forever, not in this digital hellscape. The aide, barely 25 and already disillusioned, nodded mutely, wondering if her resume would survive the fallout. Across town, Jasmine Crockett was a fortress of calm amid the storm. Back in her Arlington apartment, she sat on her couch, still in the navy blazer from the press briefing, staring at a second folder she hadn't yet opened publicly. Inside were additional affidavits and email chains between Trump's legal team and a mid-level White House operative detailing how the Arizona court filing was flagged for national security suppression, a flimsy excuse even then. She didn't plan to release them yet, not out of fear but strategy. Let them squirm, she whispered to herself, a faint smirk tugging at her lips. Her phone buzzed with messages, some from allies, others from anonymous numbers threatening lawsuits or worse. She ignored them all. A single text from her chief of staff read, DOJ received the files. Ethics committee meeting tomorrow. Brace for war. Crockett didn't reply. She was ready. The public reaction wasn't a wave. It was a tsunami crashing differently across every corner of America. In Detroit, a union hall meeting turned into a shouting match. A burly auto worker in a faded GM cap slammed his fist on a table. I voted for Trump twice, but this hiding a kid's truth with hush money. That's low man. That's cowardice. Across the room, a younger worker snapped back, you're buying into a witch hunt. Crockett's just grandstanding for clout. This don't change nothing about jobs or borders. The room split, voices rising until the moderator gave up adjourning early. In a suburban Atlanta Starbucks, a group of moms, usually gossiping over lattes, sat glued to a shared iPad, scrolling through the documents. I don't even care about the paternity part. One said, her voice sharp with disgust. It's the cover-up. He used our tax dollars to pay off lawyers and silence courts. That's theft of trust. Another, clutching a toddler on her lap, countered, but dragging a child into this, that's cruel. Crockett should have kept it private. The first mom shot back private. He made it public by lying to us for years. She's just the messenger. Their debate mirrored thousands unfolding in diners, barbershops, and living rooms nationwide. On college campuses, the story fueled a generational fire. At UCLA, a student rally formed outside the political science building, signs reading "Truth, Power, and No More Lies in Office." A sophomore with a megaphone shouted, "This isn't about Barron. It's about a system that lets the elite dodge accountability. Crockett's not the villain, she's the whistleblower." A counter-protest, smaller, but vocal, chanted, "Leave Trump alone." A scuffle broke out, quickly quelled by campus security, but the divide was clear. For many under 30, Crockett was a hero exposing rot. For others, she was a wrecking ball tearing down stability. Rural America, often Trump's bedrock, showed fractures too. In a small-town Iowa diner, farmers nursing black coffee debated over checkered tablecloths. "I don't trust politicians, period," grunted a man in overalls, his weathered hands gripping a mug. "But if he dodged a test, paid millions to hide it, what else is he hiding? I got no respect for a man who runs from truth." His buddy, sporting a MAGA cap, sneered, "You're letting the liberal media play you. This is a hit job. Trump's still the only one fighting for us against the swamp." The diner owner, wiping down the counter, muttered, "Swamp or not, lies don't plow fields. I'm just saying." Politically, the fallout was a chessboard of desperation and calculation. Republican leaders, caught between loyalty to Trump and fear of voter backlash, issued tepid statements. House Speaker Greg Harlan released a carefully worded press release. "We must prioritize national unity over personal allegations, while ensuring transparency remains a cornerstone." It satisfied no one. Behind closed doors, GOP strategists whispered about distancing themselves. "If more leaks drop, he's radioactive," one told a colleague over a hushed call. "We can't lose the midterms over a paternity scandal. We pivot to policy yesterday." Meanwhile, Democrats, sensing blood, pushed harder. Senate Majority Leader Anita Torres called for an immediate investigation into executive misuse of court systems, citing Crockett's files as irrefutable evidence of abuse. Crockett herself didn't join the pile-on. She introduced her two bills, limiting executive interference in state courts and revisiting sealed settlements involving officials, and let the evidence speak.